living like a fucking reptile, face down in the gutter for too damn long. Starting to feel cold-blooded, since I haven't been all alone.
Thrashers Paradise, Nova Scotia edition, as we are proud to finally have a band from the East Coast on this channel. We're joined with Evan, who is the frontman to Turbo!
Hey! What's up?
Hey, nothing much, man. Yourself?
Not too much, man. I just woke up after a gnarly hangover last night. It's pretty much all we've been doing on the East Coast is just drinking. Liquor store lines are round the block. Like, it's fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah, same here in Ontario. Now, my first question is, how's Halifax recovering from the horrible shooting that happened a couple weeks ago?
It's not too bad. We just started, like, opening parks and stuff like that, like, in the last week here. And if you ask me, it's a little bit too early. Like, we're preemptively trying to, like, everybody's trying to pretend it's, like, over and stuff like that. And I don't think it really is. But, no, Halifax is doing pretty good. Like, most of the paranoia has, like, been swept away. And people are, like, getting a little bit too comfortable with all this stuff.
Oh.
If you ask me.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know it was horrible to hear and just wanted to just see how the city is doing and how the people there are.
That whole incident, that was crazy. Like the whole shooting and stuff, are you talking about?
Yeah.
That was just like something nobody could even see coming. It was crazy. I was still at work for a little bit. And friggin', I was working at this gas station and we had another scare the next day. And we had to like totally shut down everything. Like the whole city shut down because we thought there was another shooter going around. And it turns out it was a false alarm. It was a bunch of like kids just playing pranks with like squirt guns or something. And then, yeah, I know. So like that's how like insane the neurosis of the city got for like a week or so. But you know, we're all right now. I think everybody's a little less jumpy.
Yeah. That's great to hear. Now let's get into the fun part of the interview where we talk about music and shit.
Excellent.
Now your EP, Fast as Fuck, is coming out soon or is already come out? I'm confused with Bandcamp. It's kind of
it's kind of confusing for us too because we just we had like a whole plan on doing like a release and stuff like that, but then fucking COVID hit. So we have like a pre-release on physical and stuff like that. And we're getting physical copies like made as we speak, but we don't actually know what the plan is for a release yet. So we're gonna have to try and like get real creative, and we will get real creative. But like available at a strip club near you or something like that. I don't know. We'll do something.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it is definitely it's out now.
Okay.
It's just not been like officially released.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but coming soon. You know,
coming soon.
Yeah.
Coming to a Spotify streaming service near you.
Absolutely.
Because that was my main issue. I found you on Bandcamp very easily. John Asher shoot me the email about you guys. And I tried finding you.
By the way, he's been doing great work for us.
Oh, yeah. God bless him.
John Asher for a second.
No, and then I go on Spotify. Can't find anything with you guys. Are you guys not on Spotify yet? Or are you just there? But
we're not on Spotify yet. And I forget why I'm probably not the right guy to talk to as to the reason that is, because I have nothing to do with Spotify. But I think there was like some kind of like I don't even know. But we're not on Spotify yet. We will be soon.
Okay.
I don't want to talk out of my ass and then give you guys the wrong answer and then have my bandmates yell at me later. So and I would totally be the kind of asshole who would do that. But no, there was like some kind of complication with Spotify, but we're working on it and we'll get on Spotify pretty soon.
Yeah, now I've heard the EP. I love it. It's so unique and different in today's age of music, either being hard rock or metal. It's just, to me, it sounds like Guar with Dave Mustaine as the vocals, kind of.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, you being the vocalist, have you ever been given that like weird comparison of sounding kind of like Dave Mustaine?
Not in sound, but I remember a dude, because like I only started singing in bands, like I was singing in bands like in high school, but I wasn't good, you know, and fucking I had to kind of like hone my craft a little bit. So I really started singing in a band again like in the last year or so with Turbo. And somebody made the comparison between me and Dave Mustaine and Axl Rose, but not in like sound, more in like an attitude kind of way, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, if Sess is watching, he's a rap producer I work with every now and again. He's a really good guy. But yeah, he made that comparison. But yeah, no, nobody else has made the comparison.
Now, with a sound as unique as that for the genre that you are in, was that the main intent to kind of just sound like this and stand out from the rest, or just this is what you love to do and you don't give a shit what everyone else
We
thinks?
kind of like we wanted to write an album worth of shit that just we would want to listen to over and over again. You know,
Mhm.
like the thing is like you get all these like traditional metal bands and like death metal bands or black whatever subgenre of metal you want to listen to, and like I love all those genres, but I can only listen to an album maybe two or three, four times before it loses its luster. And I realized like going back into like old rock albums, like say even like Iron Maiden or like
Yeah.
fucking the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, like all the greats never had to worry about a categorization, right? So it
Yeah.
started me and Sylvain thinking we were starting a band and stuff, and we were like, well, we want to be like really hard, but we also want like some real like rock and roll ability. You know what I mean? So we started like trying to find a way to kind of hash those two things into a sound. And then when we hired Lindsay and Todd, their influences like really added like a punk element, like a thrash metal element to it, and it just kind of like snowballed out of control from there. Hey, nice cat.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, but no, after that, it just kind of like wrote itself. I don't think we actually came into this with a plan at all. It just kind of really actually did like organically develop itself, which is really nice to see. Like actually,
Mhm.
like, it's been a pleasure to be a part of.
Yeah. So the band's name's Turbo, and the main cover on the EP is a raptor, I think,
The
lizard kind of.
Velociraptor with a jetpack and scissors.
Yes. Yes, of course. So what made you want to go with that album cover?
I actually pitched that to the guys, and they kind of laughed it off. And it was a joke. Most things in this band start off as a joke, and fucking, it was a joke. And then as we kept looking for an album cover, we kept pitching like stupider and stupider things, and it became less and less of a joke. Like I just kept coming back to like I'm telling you guys, Velociraptor with the jetpack and scissors, and it got to the point where I started I started designing an album art with a Velociraptor with the jetpack and scissors, and eventually the guys are just like, okay, fuck it, let's just bring this to an artist. We'll see what he does with it. And yeah, he came up with that. And we were like, no, dude, that's the fucking album. It's got it. So we did it.
That's awesome. Now, what inspired you guys to go with the name Turbo?
That was a long, long battle, but it was a war of attrition with name finding, and I think it always is. When it comes to like making a band, the hardest part of making a band, I've always said, is finding a good name, because
Hmm.
so many bands out there have shitty names, and I can't blame them, man. Like fucking, just you spend a week like looking for a name, and then something shitty pops out. You're like, man, just slap it on a postcard, man. Like fuck it, let's go with it. And then so we were kind of actually blessed to have like again, it started off as a joke, like we're just like throwing out shitty names, and then Todd just says the word turbo, and I remember like almost having a heart attack, and I was like, "Wait a second, say that again." And he goes, "Turbo," and I'm like, "Yup, that's the one." And then everybody else is like, "Yeah, all right." Like we were all in the same room getting drunk together, and then the rest is history.
Now, I ask bands this a lot when they're touring about the East Coast, but I've never really gotten the chance to ask an actual band from the East Coast. But what is it like, metal slash hard rock wise, in the East Coast? Like, is there a scene there? Is it growing? Is it not growing? Like, what's happening down there?
There is a scene there, and it's a good scene, and it's a really loyal scene. Like everybody who comes out to any given show comes out to every show, and you'll see like the same
Yeah.
two faces at any given East Coast show every time. If you're a band worth your salt, you will see the main hitters in the East Coast scene. Um, but that's just it. There's no real. I find there's not a whole lot of room, both geographically and like socially, for expansion. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, yeah.
you're not gonna get those like big old Toronto shows where like, it could be like 1,000 people showing up. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So
true.
it's kind of like a population problem, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but us like honestly, as far as like scenes in small towns go, because that I even considered Halifax a small town. Really, it's like the world's biggest small town, right? It's fucking. It really is. It's the world's biggest small town, the world's smallest big city. But it like even as far as Halifax goes, it's like you're gonna get if you're a good band, you're gonna get a healthy like 250 people out, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so we're not like struggling over here, but like we wish it could be bigger.
Of course. Now, when it comes to doing like shows and performances, do you see yourselves like going all across the Maritimes? Like you will perform constantly in not just Nova Scotia, but in New Brunswick, PEI, and Newfoundland?
100%. We want to be. Well, we started this band just wanting to constantly be on the road all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that like that vision hasn't changed. I don't know how coronavirus is going to pan out. Hopefully, it pans out in our favor that way. But yeah, no, we want to be on the road always. Like I never want to be home.
Awesome. Now, when can we expect the expansion from the Maritimes over to Quebec, then over to Ontario, and then
That
so
was
on and so forth?
That was we had plans to have that happen this summer. Actually, we had a couple of things booked out in Toronto way, and
Okay.
now we don't know how this is going to turn out. So it's looking like those might be postponed. But we will obviously get out there the first chance we get in.
Excellent. Now, for you as a musician, where for you, outside of course, your hometown, do you feel it would be the most important to make a huge impact in?
Probably like the big three in Canada, I'd say are Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
and that's always been and it's probably never going to change. So I'd want to hit Toronto first because I think Toronto has more of a scene that's going to grab onto us, and then Montreal and Vancouver follow suit. Vancouver is obviously way out of the way, you know, but like you got to visit there eventually because they got the best weed. So like we're gonna have to go out there, right?
Of course. Side note, to let you know, from what I've heard, apparently Edmonton has a very committed scene as well.
They are really good. We haven't been there with Turbo, but my other band Blackmore and I went out there one year, and they were really really nice to us. So I'm really excited to take Turbo on the road and just go out there and just give them a vicious onslaught for a sec.
So how long has Turbo been a collective unit?
We're all in like pretty big bands around Halifax, and we started Turbo probably last November. No, it's been like last October, and then we started jamming, and it just came together so fast, right?
Yeah. And now
Yeah.
you're releasing this your first creation, your first child together kind of in a way with this album.
Oh, it
That's
absolutely is. Like we recorded it ourselves. We like packaged it. Like fucking, it's ours. You know, like it's our little baby.
Yes.
Every
You're
time
gonna
I look at
protect
the
it.
album, I'm like, But but yeah, no, like it's pretty crazy to have like something that is that much your own happen that fast, right? Like here I am talking to you. It's been
Yeah.
like 5 months of this band, right? Like
Wait, is this your first interview?
no, but
Oh,
still,
okay.
you know, like it's just like to have things happen like this happen so
Yeah,
fast,
sure.
right?
Well, I don't know if you haven't caught on yet, but you are making history with us. You are the first ever maritime band to be on the channel, so a cheers to you.
Hey,
Dead
dude.
serious, man.
Cheers, dude. Well, thanks
You,
for having us.
well, you
Pleasure.
know how hard it is to try and find a metal band to respond back to you from the Maritimes?
Man, it's hard. Like a lot of maritime bands here just aren't even like up on social media as well. Like it's just kind of like for a
Really?
lot of bands anyway, it's just not part of the scene here. So like even having them like respond to like a Facebook message band wise is like sometimes rare.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes. Like it depends who you're talking to. Most of the new up and coming bands realize that social media has to be a part of it. Like us, like I don't give a shit about Instagram, but we have to be on Instagram. You know, like I really hate social media, but we have to be a part of it, right? Like it's
Okay, yeah.
what it is. But yeah, no, that might be like part of the difficulty there, especially if you're looking for like some of the older standing bands, like
hmm
for sure.
Like, I was trying to contact this one band from Cape Breton. I don't know if you've heard of them, 13 Dead. And it's like,
I think I have heard of them actually. I don't think I've seen them play, but I think I've heard the name.
yeah, like I messaged them like maybe over a year ago. I'm still waiting. I was like,
Just start like just spam like crazy ex girlfriend messaging them. I'm thinking about you today. I saw something with the word 13. I thought about you. This is our song, man. It just put up like something by Cher. Like,
I went to a funeral today and immediately thought about you guys. Please contact me back. I want to
yeah,
interview you.
exactly, man. I would totally fuck with them. It's been a year. Like,
I don't know. I don't know. Like you have a Facebook page. You'd think they might message.
yeah, I know, right? But no. That's
So
funny. If
it's
I ever
more.
keep gonna bring that up, I'll be like, yeah, dude. Okay, by the way, Colin says what's up. Get back with this guy.
Please do if you ever do get the chance to meet them.
Yeah, I definitely will, man.
So at least it's very much just make a poster or a crappy poster, hang it up on the streets, and just like, here's our show, come to it. We're here.
Wait, what's that? Sorry, what was that?
So because of the answer you gave me, I'm assuming out east is more or less you have to make physical posters and post them around town to get the word out.
It's very much like that. In fact, I personally have like a crew of like 6 friends that kind of like help me out with that, and I get
Yeah.
really obnoxious with it. Like I get like not just like I mean they're posters, but like I'll like wait until like cars are like at red lights with their window open and just like throw a poster. Shit, man, I don't give a fuck. Fucking like I'll like if somebody's like parked in a weird way, I'll put like a poster in their fucking like window wipers. Like
Okay.
I don't fuck around. And I think that's the way you got to be here. It's like the more obnoxious and the more willing to make a fool of yourself too you are, the more exposure you get around here. So it's really a game that's right up my alley.
So what is the ideal venue in Halifax to perform at?
um, there's a few answers to that. Here, hold on. I'm just putting out a cigarette here.
Take your time.
All right, we're back. There's a couple answers, and it really depends on what you're playing. But I'd say the big thing here is the Marquee, which is it's like really 3 bars connected together. It's the Local, which is like a pub, and then the Seahorse, which is an amazing show bar in itself, and then the Marquee is upstairs, which is just massive. It's a big old venue. It holds like 500, 600 people. And yeah, it's a big old place.
Damn.
So, and we've all had the opportunity to play there in our separate bands, like before Turbo. So hopefully we get to play there with Turbo because that'd be excellent.
Yeah, that would by what you just said, yeah, that'd be awesome. Is there like a metal festival out there? Like here we have a couple little small ones, like a little Death Fest, a little something fest, like kind of
we
that
got
thing.
a couple of small ones too. We got Maritime Metal Hard Rock Festival, which is it's growing every year, but it's still like pretty small potatoes. It's like a camp out festival, which is awesome.
Okay.
Camp out
Yeah.
fest. And we used to have Metal Fest. I don't know if that's still going on. The guy, I think the guy who put it on lost a lot of money, but like I can't actually be sure. Yeah, I don't want to actually speak on that because again, in case I get facts wrong and I get people yelling at me, but this happens to me all the time.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Aside from those two, we don't have any.
Okay. Yeah, no. I don't know what to ask this one. I'm just enjoying just the conversation, honestly.
Yeah, me too. You're a good guy.
Thank you. You seem like a good guy too. So, ideally for you, outside the big three and outside of Canada, where would you want to make an impact?
We've really been looking into Mexico and South America. I think that
Really?
fun. Yeah, and I think a lot of bands kind of like it's not as on their radar as say like Europe because obviously we want to go to Europe. We want to
Mhm.
go to Japan and be big in Japan.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the thing, right? But like South America is like we've had just like looking at it like our Facebook statistics.
Mhm.
Okay, look at all that bureaucratic nonsense. Our a lot of our viewership comes from Mexico right now.
Really?
For some reason, I don't know why.
They must like what you're doing.
That's like what we do, and so we've been looking at like Mexico, South America a lot more, and it just seems like tequila country is for us. So we're probably gonna try and go there next. I don't know. The States is obviously on our radar, and you know, and I think that kind of goes without saying. Any band in Canada is going to want to go in the States probably next.
Mhm.
But I think South America is like our big thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Would you guys
Yeah.
make like turbo
Nobody ever says
sombreros?
that too. Like I've never heard a band like go like, oh yeah, dude, like Mexico, South America, right? But like we saw Skullfist came back from a Mexican tour,
Oh,
and they
really?
just had the fucking wildest stories, man. Like, holy crap! Like they were telling me stories that I was just like, it was unbelievable. So like after that, I'm actually really excited to get down there.
So if you do go to Mexico and do like a little tour, would you guys like make like a limited number of like turbo sombreros to sell?
Now we would, yeah, we absolutely would now. I didn't even think about that, but yep. And like ponchos, we'd have ponchos.
Yes!
Yeah,
Like little rain ponchos too.
absolutely, man. And we'd have like fucking like donkey saddles, but turbo. Like,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Fast as fuck.
Oh, you get a donkey, and on the ass you get like, you know how sometimes they put the iron on? The iron says turbo.
Dude, yeah. Yes. Dude, there you go. And like little fake mustaches. Just because, like,
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
they don't say turbo on them, but it's implied.
Yeah, of course. Of course. No, that's
I'd also really want to get like, you know, like in movies about like Mexico especially, you see like that it's a movie trope to like go into like this Mexican tattoo shop and have this like bald guy like named Rex or something like tattooing you, and
yeah.
he's drinking tequila while I want to go into one of I would get a tattoo there, like I'd have to, like
Yeah.
I'd find one of these like mom and pop tattoo Mexican shops and just I'd have to. It's just something I've always wanted to do.
Now, at first glance, when people hear the name Turbo, do they think that you guys might be a hair metal band?
Maybe we've gotten a couple of things. There's a
Okay.
couple of people who they assume that like we're some kind of hair metal band, or they assume that we're like strictly like a thrash metal band, or like, and that's easy. Like when we pitch the band, it's like kind of a marriage of like metal, rock, and punk. And when people hear that, they think of like a thrash metal band. So
Yeah.
like it's like, you know, but we've been taking great leaps to, because there's all those influences in there, even hair metal. Like we take a huge hair metal influence, but we're trying to like not be purist in any one of those forms. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, you know, we don't hate the comparison at all. We just like politely correct people.
Of course. We're Canadian. We politely
Yeah,
correct them.
we're Canadian. We talk shit about you behind your back. That's
Exactly. Just give us a couple Molsons and then we'll talk shit.
exactly.
Okay. So here's a fun question I usually like to ask a lot of the bands we do interview. So a lot of the time nowadays with what we see, a lot of bands just seem to be teaming up with distilleries or even breweries just to come up with a signature line of alcohol. Maiden with their Trooper beer, just Metallica came out with a whiskey, I think, Blacken sort of thing. So if that ever came to a point where a brewery or distillery came to you guys and were like, "Hey, you want to team up and create something?" You're like, "Hell yeah, sure." What kind of alcohol would you personally want it to be, and what would you prefer the name of it to be called?
Oh man, jeez, that's a question I probably should have thought of before. Because like, we're exactly the kind of band that would have something like that happen to us. Like, I would love to make turbo liquor. That'd be the best. What would it be though? It'd probably be some kind of whiskey or tequila. But if
Okay.
you do beer, I'd want it to be called Turbo Brow, because that just like,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that just feels right. But like it'd probably be a tequila, honestly. Like whatever liquor makes you make the most bad decisions, I feel like would be like something right up our alley. And tequila is just like it's just sells itself as like the lo and behold that we're gonna drink this and make terrible choices. That's the liquor. So like I'm pretty sure it'd be tequila. Especially if we get into Mexico. I'd love to have that made.
Yeah. And it's, no, instead of the donkey on the tequila, you have the Velociraptor with the mustache.
Yes, exactly. He's riding the donkey.
Yes.
It's perfect.
So many merchandise ideas are being created in this video right
And,
now.
it's things go so much smoother when you start them off as just the funniest joke, and then like
Right?
exactly if it's a joke funny enough to last like a week, sell it. Like
Mhm.
it's enough for other people to do it.
Like, I don't know if you've heard this one YouTube channel, but they're called J-Hop Films. They're based in Toronto.
Yeah, I know J-Hop.
So have you seen the Warbringer videos where they constantly just? Oh,
I don't think I've seen those ones. No, I don't follow them, but I know them.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's the one video where they're talking to Warbringer and they're just showing off memes. And then there's this one meme where it's just like Crash Bandicoot saying, "Wow." And then the guy underneath just saying the rest of the album title because their one album was called Woe to the Vanquish. Lead singer just opens up and says, "Yo, Thrash Bandicoot's awesome, man."
Crash Bandicoots.
So I'm like, dude, I want that on a t-shirt. Just, I buy it, Thrash Bandicoot.
That's so good, man. Just have like Crash with like fucking ripped up jean vest and just like
Yes, Thrash.
hell yeah.
Well, give him a beer, of course.
Well, of course, yeah. He's gotta have
He
one of those beer like hats on, you know, like fucking,
Yes, and then he'll just be just doing the circle.
absolutely. Man, we gotta come up with some funny ideas like that. That's funny. Yeah, because we have like t-shirts out and stuff like that, but they're just like, you know, your first line of t-shirts are just like, you know, your logo and whatever else cool thing you can think of, and then that's what you sell for like the next month. So we're there. We're at that point right now, but like the next week, we're gonna have to find something funny to put on.
Do you guys have any like large t-shirts left?
I think so. Want us to mail something your way?
Yo, please.
Yeah, dude.
Like-
just like in our message thing, just hit me up with your address and we'll definitely mail you some.
Hell yeah, like I'll even ship you guys out candy if you want it.
Candy?
Yeah, my mom works at a candy factory.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, we got a deal.
Oh my god, you lost me at your mom. No, I'm just joking. Wide open, man. I had to do it.
No, fair enough.
Oh man, but yeah, no, absolutely. We'd love to ship you some.
Okay, great, cool. So we got a deal here. It's on camera because we've had one band who I like to tease about it that we made the deal. Candy for a t-shirt. I'm still waiting for my t-shirt.
Yeah. They got the candy though, eh? They're probably just like
They got 2 packages of candy.
They're probably just like, yes.
Yes.
Or even another t-shirt.
But no, I'm being serious. I will do this deal if you're down for this deal. I will send you guys.
I'm 100% down. I'm sure the guys wouldn't be. I'm sure my bandmates would be like, yeah, dude, fucking do it. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Okay. So deal. I will ship this out Tuesday because Victoria Day is Monday.
All right. I will cheers on that. That is
Cheers.
done, my friend.
I'm sad because my beer is empty. So
Yeah, mine's almost empty too.
So I think that means we should ask the last question.
Sure. I gotta go out and get more beer, then prepare for tomorrow's hangover.
Smart man. The question we ask all of our first-time guests is to ensure that we're talking to someone that at least knows the genre well enough to know this answer. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Trick question. Lemmy is God.
Damn right, this man's got it. Do you know how many people have gotten that wrong?
Dude, I know, because they never saw Airheads. How do you
Right?
not watch Airheads? Fucking Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler, and Brendan Fraser at their best, man. At their best.
Yes!
Dude.
You
Suck,
can't-
dude. I'm watching that after this interview, actually. Like,
I'm
I
going
like
to watch
my
this
hand. I'm just like, yeah.
I'm going to probably open up another beer and watch it again.
Yeah,
Like-
honestly, like, it's I haven't seen it in probably a year, and it's stupid good. I wish I could
is.
a radio station with squirt guns. That's like
Right.
another dream of mine, but it's already been done. Fraser already did it.
Hey, you can do it in real life.
It's true, but I get arrested. Again.
Well, Evan, thank you so much for coming on Thrashers today. Is there anything else you'd like to say to people at home?
Bumblebee tuna. That's it.
You heard it right here. You can find Fast as Fuck on Bandcamp right now. Stay tuned for Spotify because it might come eventually.
It will.
It will. And until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing. Now, me and him are just going to talk about beer.
Cool, man.
Oh, can't see about the day. I'm my own victorious.